Well, 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 well. No. Well, hello there, or moin as we say here in Hamburg. Welcome to Stitch-Ilonka. My name is Ilonka. Yes, it's spelled with an I, but pronounced with an E. And you are here on this wonderful channel about cross stitch and some other things, maybe. It's been 2 weeks again, so I am back here. That's really not... I have to get into the groove now because I've really had a horrible time these last 2 weeks, and I somehow feel completely out of touch with you guys. I haven't commented, I haven't replied to the comments under my last video, and I'm very sorry for that, but the last 2 weeks were just crazy. I don't know. I'm gonna go into that if you're interested in that. I'm gonna put a bit of a life update at the end if you are interested, because maybe a few of you also experienced some, rough times lately, and maybe you have an idea. You have an idea of how to cope with that, but I'm gonna put this at the end. Yeah, but let's first go into some stitching, shall we? What awaits you in this episode? I have an actual finish. I have 2 new starts. I have worked on a few whips, and I have, some kind of a haul, but not really because it's not yet here, but I managed to get my hands on some new Nashville releases. And I'm going to talk about that at the end. But first, let me start with...
Hello, hola, ni hao, konnichiwa, bonjour, buenos salve, brevit, sprich aus Olivant, sayings from around the world. Hello, hola, ni hao, konnichiwa, bonjour, buenos salve, brevit.
Isn't that great? I mean, check out Kaylee Cross Stitch. I'm gonna link her below. She is she's a music teacher and an all-around wonderful person. She does beautiful cross stitching, tiny cross stitching. That's her latest obsession. And she was so kind to provide me with a jingle for this segment, and I am so happy about that. Last time I asked you how, what you would say if, someone in Germany, you would say, I'm giving my mustard to something. So I am giving my advice or my ideas about a topic, just, without being asked for it. And I know that there's the English translation, which someone commented, giving my 2 cents worth. And when I read it, I heard that before, and when I read it, so that it was spelled C-E-N-T, so cents like money, and 2 cents worth, I was like, oh, okay, I always thought it was giving you my 2 cents, like senses, like sense thinking. Maybe there was an audible connection for me to that, but now I know it's the 2 cents worth. And someone else commented also, if someone's been on a tangent and talking about a thing that maybe doesn't concern them, then you could just shut them up by saying, okay, come off of your soapbox. So if you stand somewhere in the streets preaching, you would be standing on a soapbox, and I found that image quite amusing as well. So when Kaylee when Kaylee sent me that jingle, she also asked me what we would say, or how Germany would translate the phrase, the world is your oyster. So like if you have every opportunity to do so, everything, the sky is the limit. That's also another expression. You can do whatever you want, so the world is your oyster. And I always thought that this was a very strange image, because I myself, I don't like oysters at all, and I don't really think that I would be happy if my world was an oyster, because, well, anyway, so when we say we have ample opportunities, we have every opportunity there is, we would say the world is at our feet, or the world lies at our feet. And I think that's just a nicer, or not a nicer, but for me, it's more pleasant to think about the world is at my feet, the world is at my, that I can do whatever I want to, then compare it to a seashell with a glibberish body inside. There's another, so yeah, what would you, what kind of image do you and your culture have if you have like every opportunity there is, or if you feel free to do whatever you want? I would like to know that. And I just recently found out that like, you know, when someone is at an audition for a theater role or whatever, you know, or has something very important to do. No, actually, it's more about the auditions for being on stage or in a movie or something, or singing somewhere. Then you would wish them, instead of wishing them good luck, you would say break a leg. And we have a similar expression in Germany. We would say neck and leg fracture. So we would not just break our legs, but would just, you know, break the neck too. So Hals- und Beinbruch, we would say. That's just the greeting, Hals- und Beinbruch. So neck and leg fracture. But anyway, so if you wish someone break a leg, then you actually wish them to be in the cast. So in the cast of the ensemble or the movie or the theater piece or whatever. And I thought it was so clever, and it makes so much sense. So yeah, break a leg. I hope you break a leg. I mean, not I hope you break a leg, but you would only say break a leg because you wish them to be in the cast. That's very nice. But a friend of mine who is also an actress, I just the other day, if we wish someone good luck, especially when it's kind of related to performing somewhere, we would say toi, toi, toi. So T-O-I, no, T-O, yeah, T-O-I, T-O-I, T-O-I. And that actually is like the written word for pew, 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 for spitting, you know, tu, tu, tu. It's toi, 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 because you want to spit over the shoulder and fend off evil spirits. So they have good luck. That's really, I never really thought about it that way, but once I realized, I mean, I've always said toi, 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 but I never knew that this was the sound or the written sound of spitting. Anyway, so what do you in your culture or in your language do if you want to wish someone else good luck? I would like to know that. Please leave it down in the comments. I'm very much looking forward to seeing your comments there. Now let's get to some stitching. So now to my first finish. I'm pretty excited about that because that was one of the first stitchings that I ever started. It was a kit from, oh wait, there's something missing. The back stitching is missing. Hold on, let me just quickly fix that. See, it looks much better now. Oh, Chris would be so proud of me. Anyway, so this was a kit by the company Alisa Collections. Let me just quickly grab the front page. This is the company, and this was called Lighthouse. And if you go back to the first videos that I have stitched many of by this company because I love lighthouses so much, and they have a beautiful, very small ones as well. But this one was more of the bigger sizes. Let me just have a look. So that was something like 120 by 100. And it's not a full coverage because there's some open space here and a lot of half stitches and blended threads up here in the sky. But I really enjoy it so much, and I'm so happy that it's finally finished. And I did my own interpretation. I don't want to call it a mistake, but it's my own interpretation of the back stitching here on the Lighthouse, so that it, you know, that it feels more kind of a 3D effect, and you finally see the seagulls a bit better. And I'm really, really happy about this. And now let me just see if you can. No, you cannot really. Well, I gridded this, ow. I gridded this with a friction pen, with a felt tip friction pen, as this is 14 count Ada, creamy Ada that was in the kit, and also the threads were in the kit. And I gridded that with this felt tip friction pen, and I ironed it off, and it came off beautifully. And then I washed it. I let it soak for, I don't know, 1-2 hours in water and some detergent. But I feel like you are still kind of seeing, no, not really. Maybe it was just my tired eyes. Maybe you are able to see, no, you're not. But anyway, I thought the other day that the grid lines were still visible, but here on in the camera and in person, it's not really that visible, or it's not visible at all. But I'm very much looking forward to framing this and having this up on the wall, and I really, really like it. Alisa Collections is a Russian company, but they sell kits, and I'm pretty sure that 123 Stitch or other companies already have them in stock. So if you're interested, just give it a search, and they have many of these wonderful nautical themes and really, really nice blending. They are kind of similar to Dimensions kits, I suppose. Oh, and this is the that's not all of the threads that were left over, but there was some more. So they have enough threads in their kits for finishing it. And that was the one that I've been working on for the last 2 weeks. I really had kind of a tunnel vision, you know, like I was so far along, and I was like, okay, I just have to finish the beach and the water, and then I will be finished. And I really just, you know, had a tunnel vision on that, and I was just working on that because I wanted to have it finished, and it feels really nice to have something finished. Now I just have to see how I'm gonna frame it. Okay, now let's talk some whips. After I finished this, I was free to finally work on my whips again that I've neglected over the last few weeks. And I desperately wanted to go off-world this week or last 2 weeks, and so I took out my Visit Arrakis poster by CountryMagicStitch. It's a Russian company. They are no longer available on Etsy, and the homepage that they provide here is accessible, but you are probably not able to buy from them because of the, you know, PayPal and credit card restrictions. But anyway, I hope they will, you know, after this whole ordeal is over, we might come back to them, because I have still a few more of these posters from this company that I want to stitch. So yeah, so I really kind of felt like, okay, I want to achieve something. I want to stitch on something that I finally see results, and that was really wonderful to work on this. It was mindless stitching. I stitched on this when we had the Zoom chat the other day on Saturday with some stitchy friends, and I could just, you know, it's just one color stitching away, and I think I'm 23 or 24% done already, and I wanted to finish it here so that I can move it up. Next time you might be seeing, you know, hopefully that I'm a bit further down. But yeah, I wanted to let me ask you this. I wanted to kind of chart the Muad'Dib mouse that is on the Arrakis moon in the books and in the movies, but I wasn't able to open the PDF files in my MaxStitch or WinStitch program. If you have an idea of how to do that, please let me know, or maybe you can redirect me to a tutorial or something, because it's really, I would be able to rip this out and you know, chart or stitch the mouse if I'm able to chart it within these confines here, but I really didn't know how to get the PDF in that WinStitch program. So if you know how that works, please let me know. And don't post links in the comments, because I heard that, or I saw that if you post links in the comments, that these comments might possibly be you know, either deleted or are not shown or whatever. So if you want to provide me with a link, please find me on Instagram at Stitch-Ilonka. That would be nice. And a plug for my Instagram as well. Another kind of mindless stitching that I did when I was at the hairdresser the other day was I was working on the Golden Girls, because I wanted to move the Q-snap over so that I can work on Sophia now. Oh, by the way, 18 count pre-gridded Ada DMC colors. Also 18 count pre-gridded Zweigart fabric DMC colors, plus the thread gatherer black ink silk thread that I absolutely love. Anyway, so I was running out of the 211 the other day, and so I had to wait until my order came in, and I started stitching on it while I was at the hairdresser. And are you seeing what I'm seeing? There is a huge color difference in these two colors there. And so I know that there are problems with the die lots, and I suppose that these numbers up here above the barcode, that these numbers up here are the die lots, right? So I have now 3 different die lots here, but if I have this one from one shop and one from the other shop, and I put them together like this, and they look very, very similar. Oh no, they don't. Anyway, so what would you do? I mean, shall I just, you know, rip these few lines out and see if the other skein works, or should I just be stitching with this skein all the way down, and then kind of restitch the top part with this one? I'm really not sure how to go about this, but this is not working. But it's also quite good that this happened now, because I now know that I have to buy 2 skeins of 1 die lot for Sophia, because Sophia has much more green in her face here. And Dorothy even more. So that's a bummer. But that's the learning curve, I guess, of someone who is new to cross stitch. Can I please still say that I'm new to cross stitch, even though I've been stitching for 9 months? Is that okay? Yeah. So that happened. But yeah, let me know if what you would do. Just finish this one and restitch the top, or rip these few lines out and see if the other die lot might work better. And then, after such a long time, I took out my Rain Rustle by Leonid Afremov, charted by Artecy again, finally. And I put some more 1,000 stitches in it, and maybe I can try to find an older picture and show it here, and show you after 1,000 stitches where I am now. It's still not a lot, is it? I mean, it's still not really. I guess this very black straight line here is supposed to be one of the lampposts. So I'm at 2.5 or 2.6%. Guys, can someone please tell me again why I chose this this confetti heavy thing for my first full coverage project? Goodness me. But I love it so much. It's gonna be so beautiful once it's finished. It's gonna be so beautiful, and I am working on it. I will. But sometimes in between I have to have a smaller thing that you know, is easy to stitch up and have a kind of a finish in between. But still, also 18 count Ada pre-gridded DMC floss. Very boring, isn't it? Oh, and I also asked my stitchy friends if there is something like an evil stitching fairy that punishes you once you pull your threads so far down that it becomes a whole lot of mess at the back. Like for example here, I guess I'm gonna sleep with my windows closed for now. Looks a bit catastrophic, right? So new starts. As I just said, I like the full coverage stuff, but I wanted to have something in between that I can, you know, stitch up quite quickly and have another success story or another finish. And so I started the Happy Sloth fully functional pattern. Because it's the Picard season 2 is currently on the air, and it's a Star Trek pattern, and so I took the black pre-gridded, oh, that's not working, okay, the black pre-gridded fabric that I had, because I wanted to start an AT-AT walker on that during my Advent starts. So I gridded the whole fabric, but I haven't started yet with the AT-AT walker, and so I just took the fabric and started the data quote on this, and I love it. The colors that Happy Sloth Patterns chose are so beautiful and vibrant on this. They look so like the original visual that you would see on Next Generation. Let me just... So these are the 4 colors that you would be using on this black fabric, and they look so good. They really pop on this black fabric, and I am so happy about that, and I can't wait until it's finished. It's going to be my first finish on black. Yes. 16 count black Ada with DMC, and it's only just 4 colors, so so good. The orange just screams. It's gonna be so nice. Yeah. And if you've seen my latest, or if you've seen the video before, you know that I was so lucky to win the Hug Your Therapy squid designed by Pixel Pixie Cross Stitch. And I already started it because I really needed a big hug from my therapy squid. I had all the called for DMCs. Let me just quickly check. Yeah. And I also had a piece of 14 count dark blue, that way around, dark blue Ada. And so I just cracked on with it, and I love it. The color, like the color that she chose, again, let me just grab them too, wait. So these are the colors. Obviously the red is just for the heart, and the brown is for the teddy bear, and maybe I'm gonna do a lighter brown for the teddy bear, but this what is it, 209? Yes, 209 DMC on this dark blue Ada fabric is so cute. And the blue is also very nice and popping. It's 157. Oh, I'm gonna, sorry, I'm really looking forward to finishing it. Although, to be fair, it's been on the warmer side lately, so we are well into spring here in Germany. It's been sunny and wonderful outside, and I think I'm gonna have to check in on my balcony flowers because I haven't watered them for a few months now because it was winter and it was raining like crazy. But now that we haven't had any rain and it's really like 14 degrees, I don't know how much that is in Fahrenheit, but it's kind of quite warm, 14 to 18 degrees. I think I'm going to have to water my plants again. Anyway, so once this is finished, and I actually wanted to finish this into a kind of a pillow sleeve for a hot water bottle, but maybe I'm going to be finishing it into a, you know, to a more generic pouch that I can also put ice cubes in it, you know, when it's too warm. Yeah, I love it. Christy is really, really cool. I love the color choice. Really good. So I was so lucky to find some Nashville releases, like the newer patterns, on a Dutch website called DeHandwerkBoetiek. And this was recommended to me by Judy from JBW Designs, who I made the video for the other day about the German letter sampler that she released at market. And she said that she regularly works together with them and that they might have, you know, her pattern soon. And I went online and I had a look around, and all of the wonderful designs that I had my eye on are available there. And Annemiek, who also has a Flosstube channel, I'm going to link her below, Annemiek said that they are estimating to have the pattern and everything here in Europe by April, start of April, mid-April. So I hopefully might be able to show you what I bought or what I wanted to have the next few videos. But I want to say something else about that. I also bought Rosewood Manor, a Tisket Tasket. I'm not sure if I'm going to stitch it, but, well, I wasn't sure if I was going to stitch it, because I thought that this could be one of those patterns that you would just, you know, put away somewhere else, like for other people with their rare comic books, or pop these, how are they called, these tiny little toys, these bobblehead toys. So anyway, so I thought that I could just put this away somewhere, you know, store it quite well, and then if it's out of print in a few years, people might be, you know, wanting to spend a lot more money for that particular pattern. But I just watched Pam stitching in the Land of Good Enough, and she's also got a brick and mortar shop, a Stitch New England, and she just uploaded a video yesterday or at the weekend that, no, the weekend, what's today? Thursday, goodness me, completely off the hook. So anyway, she made a video about the Rosewood Manor trunk show that is currently residing at her shop, and she opened up a Facebook group for, you know, for her fans or her followers or whatever, to establish like a Facebook group of friends of stitching in the Land of Good Enough. And she said that she wants to start a Tisket Tasket SAL on May 1st. I think she's gonna call it Tisket Tasket Basket SAL. Is that true? I wrote it down somewhere. A Tisket Tasket Basket SAL. Yes. Tisket Tasket Basket SAL. I don't know. Anyway, what I was going to say, goodness me. Please head over to Pam and have a look at her latest video, and she explains, you know, the Facebook group and about the sale, and she has a video online going through the whole trunk show of Rosewood Manor. And, you know, I was sitting there dabbing my saliva off because it's so beautiful, and I cannot wait until I have the new patterns from Annemiek here and in my hands. Stay tuned for that. You know, I actually would have been able to show you even more haul this week, because I planned a shopping trip at one of the few brick and mortar shops, stitching shops, that we still have here in Germany. And I also wanted to visit Dorothy Kansi from Werkstatt für historische Stickmuster, or historische Stickmuster, as some of you lovely people pronounce it. Giggling. It's a difficult word, I admit that. Anyway, I wanted to visit her. I wanted to do a shopping haul, and I wanted to film something, and, you know, just show you and show the German Flosstube community around. And it all got cancelled. Last weekend was just one of those moments that I haven't experienced that often in my life. But so a friend of mine called me that I couldn't go to her place, which was planned for weeks because of COVID. And then the shopping trip was cancelled because I couldn't go to my father's because he has COVID and he's like 75 and on heart medication. And I was just, when I learned that, when he finally told me, because I called him and he sounded like Joe Cocker, that was one evening when I had a horrible argument with someone that really pulled the rug out of under me, that really shook me. And I was already, you know, kind of, okay, everything is falling apart. And we were in the car after this argument that was really, I was just, you know, panting like crazy. I couldn't really contain my rage. And of course, at the in the car on the radio, we listened to some news. And so all those COVID and war stuff was on my mind, and that argument was on my mind, and canceling the trip was on my mind. And then I learned that my father, who's on heart medication, 75 years old, is heavily suffering from COVID symptoms. And that was just that moment when I completely shut down. I don't know if I've ever experienced that, but I was just sitting on the couch, putting down the phone. My hands cramped up. I was sitting completely upright. My whole body was in a full body cramp. And I stopped breathing. And I imagine that is the moment that, like in cartoons, you know, when someone gets knocked on the head and the eyes roll back and you just read the word tilt in their eyes. That was the moment for me. I was on the couch, completely catatonic, not able to breathe. I stopped breathing, I don't know. And so my boyfriend just did the right thing. He just sat next to me and held my hand and then reminded me to breathe and breathe with me together. And then when he felt that I can do the breathing on my own now, then he got up and made me a hot chocolate, like a huge glass of hot chocolate. And yeah, until the tilt signs in my eyes retracted and my eyes came back, and I was finally able to kind of realize what's going on here, and the full body cramp went away again. So is that a panic attack? Was that a panic attack? I don't know. I mean, I have never experienced that, and I don't want to ever be in that position again. That was not nice. And I actually didn't really feel like, and I'm not suffering, but I still feel the repercussions of that evening until this day. My sleeping patterns is off. I feel like I have been running a marathon. My whole body is kind of achy. I don't know. Maybe you've experienced something like that and can tell me if that is normal, or how to deal with that and how to cope with that. I actually didn't want to film today, but I thought, well, I know that talking about stitching is something that is very near and dear to my heart and that I enjoy. And it's true, you know, going through all these wonderful things that I've been working on and showing you the colors and everything, and talking about my anticipation of the Nashville patterns that will be here soon and everything, that really make me happy and that grounds me somehow. And even though I know with all the stuff that's going on right now, and with all the things that we have to worry about, that there is also still a thing of normality, or still a thing that brings me joy and that lets me breathe for a moment, and that I can share with you as well. And maybe you have one or two nice sentences to tell me so that I feel better. Okay, next time I hope I will be able to show you some finishes, maybe the squid and I'm gonna focus on the squid before it gets too warm for that. And yeah, I plan to do the shopping trip, not next week, but the week after that, and so I might be able to show you something and tell you a bit more about that experience. And until then, I'm going to be stitching. Oh, I almost forgot one thing. I showed you this garden Biscornu last time, this wonderful thing, and I already have the linen and thread and everything for it, and also the beads. And Patchy Pony Stitcher from Australia said that she has the same one, and I am in the process of gridding the fabric because I have this very coarse linen, and I have to grid it very thoroughly before I start stitching on it, because I think that the stitching has to be very accurate and very, rectangular on this, and so I don't want to mess this up. And once I get started on that, once I get started stitching on that, I'm going to inform you, and then we can do it together. Very much looking forward to that. Maybe I can already show you a bit of a progress on that next time. Okay, and until then, I guess that's all for me today. And until next time, please take care of yourself, take care of others, be healthy, be, I don't know, just live your best life as far as it's possible. And, oh yeah, and hug your squid. Okay, I love you guys. See you next time. Bye-bye.